welcome everyone to the info session. And as we said, just shout out questions or stop us at any time. I'm going to go through fairly quickly, just giving you an idea of what the program is all about. Just to start, we are affiliated with the John H. Daniels Faculty of Architecture, Landscape and Design. We joined that faculty about 4 years ago, I guess now.
4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
2019.
Okay.
6 years.
6 years. Before that, we were our own faculty of forestry, the oldest forestry faculty in Canada. And we just basically amalgamated. So same personnel, same facilities, everything went with us to our new home. So I think a lot of people ask themselves after they get their bachelor's degree what they want to do. How do you apply what you've learned in university to the real world? And some of the answers to these questions are why students are interested in our program. For sure, they all have an interest in the environment. Many of them, and I'd say probably all, want to make a difference in the world through the environmental improvements that they can make. And many of our students want to work outdoors for at least part of their career time. So hopefully some of these ideas echo with you and make sense as to why you're interested in the program. Sorry. So as I just mentioned, we're part of the John H. Daniels Faculty of Architecture, Landscape and Design, first faculty of forestry in Canada. One really important part is the number of alumni that we have. We have over 4,000 alumni. And what this means when I have 400 and when I have 4,000.
400, 400,
400, sorry. We must have more than 400.
400 MFC, but if you include like undergrads and PhDs, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 400 plus alumni from the MFC program itself. This is probably the 25th or maybe the 26th year we've run that program, which is a very long time, considering that it was the first sort of Masters of Forest Conservation program in Canada for sure. So we have this large group of alumni that are out there working in the industry. And when I say industry, I mean everything from municipalities to conservation authorities to the actual sort of traditional forest industry. And this is very helpful to us because it helps our students that are current students to make connections, to get internships, to get jobs later on. And I think it's one of the strongest points of our program is the size and success of our alumni. So to talk a little bit more about the MFC program, it was established in 1997. About, 10 years ago now, we became the first accredited professional master's program, forestry master's program. And what this means, if you're not super aware of what accredited professional programs are, it means that there's a body outside of the university that reviews our curriculum and makes sure that our students attain all the competencies needed to practice as a professional forester. So if you want to practice as a forester or the job requires it, you can only do so by being a certified registered professional forester. And our program enables you to obtain that certification. Okay. I think I just went through this little slide. The one thing that the program does, when you finish our program to become an accredited RPF or registered professional forester, you need to spend 18 months working under a mentor or another professional forester. The program gives you 5 months towards that 18 months. So in reality, after 13 months working in the area or in the field, you can obtain your certification. Okay. The second point there is just referring to the fact that this is a regulated profession. It's part of the Ontario legislation that you need to have your RPF credentials if you wish to work in the forest industry for a lot of jobs. Okay. And I think I talked about these two. Yeah, one of the things the RPF certification does, whether you're, really interested in that or not, it does expose you to more jobs, because if you look at jobs being advertised these days, there will be requirements that you have your RPF status. And if you don't, then you can't potentially apply for those jobs. So it does open up the job market opportunities. So just generally now jumping into what the program looks like. The program really has 3 pillars of sustainability that we definitely focus on, and they are really the social, ecological, and economic pillars. And what forestry does and what the MFC program does is it tries to bring all those, all the issues and complexities of those areas into your knowledge so that you can come up with solutions that are responsive to those 3 pillars. So in other words, it's a solution that works for social, ecological, and economic issues. Okay, so that's really the overall design of the program. And to do that, it's not only enough to be knowledgeable about ecology or economics or some of the societal pressures, but you actually need to be able to have these softer skills, like being a problem solver. You need to be able to communicate to all levels of stakeholders, from the public to politicians, to mayors, to everyday people that are interested or using the forest. And you need to be able to integrate all these different aspects into coming up with the best solutions. And these, again, are some of the skills that we built into the program to help people develop their themselves to become excellent problem solvers, communicators, and work really well within the sort of forestry sector. So you get knowledge, but then you also get to practice and build these other softer skills through the program. So this is just I'm not going to spend time on this, but it gives you an idea of our faculty and where we have our I guess, core academic focus. We probably have a professor in each of these areas, if not more than one. And these are the things that we do research about, but then we bring our research into the classroom for you guys to learn what's going on, the latest in the field. Okay. Okay, so more specifics about the program. One of the things we sort of pride ourselves on is keeping a small class size. We think that this really enables very strong relationships within the class. Our cohorts become extremely good friends, but better colleagues that continue in those relationships far past the 16 months of the program. So many of them who leave come back and tell us that, they're still in touch with their colleagues from their class. They're very close friends. Some of them work together or employ each other. So that's, again, a really important thing, is that small class size and getting to know one another really well. It also enables you to get to know the professors really well, because the classes are quite intimate. We do a lot of experiential learning. We have 3 field camps that I'll talk a little bit about as we go on. We also have a guaranteed summer internship. So you're guaranteed to be out with a host organization for 3 months in the summer. The program takes place over 16 months, or we have another version of it where we add 12 extra months, and we call that the extended program. So that's a 28-month period. Okay, so now more details on the program. It's a course-based program. It's not a research-based program, which some master's programs are. This is quite directed in that we tell you what courses you need to take because we need you to have these competencies that will meet the accreditation requirements. So in total, you take 7.5 FCEs, which is 14 or 15 half credits. You have a little bit of flexibility in that you have 2 half courses that you can choose for yourself, and they can be from any course that you're interested in across the University of Toronto, as long as it's a grad course. So it could be in GIS, geography, environment, sort of wherever you'd like to get some more focused knowledge. The other part about the program, as I said, we do a lot of practical field work. We have a 9-day field camp as when you start the program in September. It's up in Haliburton. We have field trips for the Applied Forest Ecology and Silviculture course. They're more generally around Toronto. You have a guaranteed internship where you could be anywhere in Canada or anywhere in the world for that matter, depending on your own interests. Right now, the students are getting ready to go to their winter field camp up in Mattawa, which is near North Bay, where they spend 4 days doing different forest measurement techniques. They also visit a number of different facilities up there and learn from experts in the area, from anywhere from Indigenous leaders to people who are running their own sawmills or other facilities up there. And if you're looking for global perspective in forest conservation, you can sort of get that through field camps and the internship. We have a field camp in the summer that is an international field camp, or we have a urban field camp. So it's your choice. If you're looking for international education on forest conservation, that's one great way to get it. And as well, you can take electives sort of from a global perspective. Okay, so a little bit more detail. This is first semester. First semester, we head up to Haliburton for 9 days. Every day, a new or a different professor will come and teach you about their expertise. So one day we do tree measurements, tree health assessments. We do entomology, so we look at insects. We look at mycology, which is looking at fungi. We look at plants. We look at wildlife. So you get the spectrum of what the forest is all about, and you get to learn from really the best in the field. So you develop some practical skills and a lot of knowledge. These are just some photos of our first day up in Haliburton. Students are learning how to orienteer through the forest. They're learning compasses. Another girl has a measuring tape or chain for measuring the trees. Come on in. You're our audience. Oh, great, wonderful. Welcome.
Our in-person audience, yes.
This student is measuring tree diameter with a prism. This is another day when it's okay, it's quiet out. It was noisy before. So this is our Professor Sean Thomas. He teaches about ecology and some silviculture. Silviculture. I'm looking for ID, plant ID.
Same video, okay.
Thanks. So some plant ID work. This is Daniela Purick, Dr. Purick. She's doing a soil pit here, teaching students about the different horizons in the soil. Forgot to mention soil. this is, again, wildlife where they've caught some sort of rodent, a mouse or vole or deer mouse, a deer mouse in the traps. So they set up traps through the night and then go out in the morning and see what they've collected. And then for each of the days, depending what the students collect, they spend some time in the lab where they learn how to identify all these different organisms. And it's basically at the end of the camp, they make a report summarizing basically the biodiversity that existed in the forest. And there's various different silvicultural treatments in the forest. So it's quite interesting to see how the forest treatments, and that means how they harvested the trees, affect the biodiversity that is maintained in the forest afterwards. And of course, we have a look at the industry. So how are the logs used? There's actually a sawmill on site, so it's a great tour to see how logs are processed. And then there's always some recreational time. We have a half-day canoe trip, and you can see we have a lot of students, well, 30-some students going out in canoes together and going through some beaver dams and some pretty beautiful areas up at Haliburton. So there's lots of lakes up there, lots of time for relaxing and getting to know one another. So after we come back from Haliburton, these are the courses that you take. So it's pretty tough schedule. You take 5 courses. You can see the subject matter there, and that's in your first term. And this is the second term, so this is now the winter term where the students are right now. It seems like a lot. 5 courses is, a pretty heavy course load, and there is a lot of work in all the courses, but there are not a lot of tests or exams. Most of the courses have group work, and they do presentations, they do reports. So you get really great at doing presentations, which is a real great skill to have. And it's also the idea, as I mentioned, of working with different people with different viewpoints. So you're able to get different ideas and come up with really novel and good solutions. So it's kind of designed in that way that we're not really testing anyone or trying to get anyone to fail. Once you're in grad school, you've kind of proved your abilities, and we're not screening people out as maybe you think of undergrad a bit as. If you're here, it's because we want you here and we make sure that you do great in the course program. So this is the Mattawa field trip where they're headed 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. A lot of the times we have to use snowshoes because the snow is quite high. I'm sure it will be this year. So it should be really nice out there. And this fellow here, actually, Brian, is from the MNR, so from the government, the provincial government up there that looks after the forest. Folks like him come out and talk to the students, tell us what they do and how they manage the forest. So it's a really great experience. We also do some forest measurements out there while we're there. This is a picture actually the year I went up, and we couldn't get up the hill because of the snow. So they took all the students in the back of the ministry vans and took them up to the sites. But yeah, a lot of fun. This was my first class, actually. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah, Christine and
Yeah,
staff. Yeah, long time ago. This is at a sugar shack, I believe. It was when this group went. Maybe you don't go there.
No, we do.
Near Petawawa?
Yeah.
Is that not? I think that's.
Well, it's more so closer to Powassan.
Okay, Okay.
It's up on 11,
okay,
and I forget the name
Name
of
of
the
it.
place, but we've been going there the last few years.
okay. So you get to sample some nice maple syrup and see the sugar bush and see what they do up there. So it's a really nice trip, actually. So in the summer, you're not off for the summer as you would think in undergrad. There's two courses. One is, as I mentioned, an international forest conservation field camp or an urban forest conservation field camp. And you have a choice. You can take either. They're offered at the same time at the beginning of May. So that's the first thing in the summer. And the second thing is the internship, which is a 3-month internship, anytime between sort of May to August or however it fits in. As far as the international camp, here's where we've been going for the last number of years. This year, students are going to Costa Rica. My parking's on. Sorry. Sorry, just take a break for a second.
Are you renewing your parking to
Yeah.
be at? Okay.
So session cannot be extended. It's
Oh,
okay.
you gotta wait for it
To
to fully
fully-
end
okay.
before they allow you.
Okay,
to-
sorry for interrupting, guys. My apologies. Okay, this was from last year. This was Ecuador where the students were. The wonderful thing about this field camp is that you're led by 1 or 2 of our professors, and they are usually ones that are involved in research in these areas. So you get to really learn about the area through their eyes and through their colleagues. And if you went to Ecuador on your own, you would never have the same experience or be able to meet up with the people that they introduce you to. I think this is a termite. I don't know what you call it. Something to do with the mound, is that what's called? A termite mound. I wasn't there, so I don't know. I'm kind of glad I wasn't there when you see this next tree. Again, the trees, have their own defense mechanism. This tree obviously has a pretty strong defense mechanism. These are pictures I got from Sean, and this is, anybody know what this is? Because I forget.
Avocados? No,
It might be, Paul.
I don't know.
This is an avocado tree
It might
or
be.
some kind of
It's a plantation. I think you're right.
similar fruit.
So again, looking at the industry, what are they doing with their forests? It could be, a palm oil plantation. It could be an avocado plantation. Those are the types of things you get to visit. I should find out from Sean what these are. This is some sort of pine. Not sure what. Yeah. Whoops.
Kai said maybe guava. That's
Could be. Thank you. Could be. Yeah, so looking at sort of reforestation and deforestation, obviously, there's social issues with rural farmers, clearing forests, needing to grow agricultural crops and sort of that type of conflict that you would see and experience and learn about. This is, again, I'm just going to flash through it. This was the trip a few years ago to Malaysia. Just to give you an idea of the itinerary. Kind of see they get a piece of everything from wildlife, palm oil, rubber plantations, really a real taste of the area as it relates to forest conservation. This one involved going to a couple different places where they flew. And visited a few different places, looking at mangrove swamps and forests. And again, doing the same type of work we would do here, where you identify the trees and maybe do a report or do some sort of project. These field camps now all have they call it a research blitz day, where someone in that community will give the students a problem and say, okay, you have a day to come up with your plan, how you're going to solve this problem, and then present it to us. So the students are broken into groups and they go about and do the, the work that's necessary over a 24-hour period to come up with a plan of what the host could do to solve their issue. This is just again more of some of the things that they were looking at. Yeah, sorry, I keep jumping ahead. I don't know the slides I have.
You know the stock too well.
Exactly. So this was the research blitz this year, and they were looking at sort of these wetland areas and how to restore them back to some forest. So they came up with a plan, then they implemented it, and gave a presentation to the host group there. Yeah, and this is just, again, lots of time to get to know your colleagues, get to know one another, lots of discussions. So, you go out during the day and then usually at night you spend some time sitting together and really discussing and looking at different perspectives of what you just saw that day. Okay, and the urban forest field camp is around the city of Toronto, but goes, really this is the plan. It goes around the GTA, and then it goes on its way to Ottawa and Montreal, where you look at forests and urban forestry management.
Yeah, so you do, the first week is day trips around Toronto and area in that greater area. And then the second week, it's an overnight trip to Ottawa and Montreal.
Yeah,
Or 4 night, 5 day.
4 night, 5 night, yeah.
We leave Sunday, we get back.
yes, okay. So all in all, a 2-week trip again, looking at urban forestry, everything from meeting with municipalities, meeting with nurseries, things that you can relate to more urban areas, talking to arborists, looking at what they do, how they do sort of single tree care, pruning, what's the health of the trees in the city like, and how do you help to improve that? Also look at sort of small woodlots in parks and municipalities and see how they manage that. This was a time when this municipality was doing some emerald ash borer damage, restoration or risk mitigation, where they were taking down some emerald ash damaged ash trees. Okay, as I mentioned, going to nurseries, seeing how they function and what they do, how to grow trees, how to grow them in containers. And that's the urban field camp. And then finally, for the rest of the summer, you would do an internship. And these are just some of the organizations, give you a chance to read some of them. This is a really small sampling of where our students go or have been. As you can see under municipalities, should add Halton Hills in there now, but we have, most of the municipalities around Toronto, City of Ottawa, lots at City of Toronto, many at the conservation authorities, and then the forest industries, whether they're out west or in Northern Ontario or even east in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. We also have quite a few students in the last number of years interested in First Nations, and we've really started to develop some great relationships there and have been able to get some great internships involving First Nations groups. And here's again a list of some of the internships that students or hosts that the students have worked with. Parks Canada, the MNR or the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources, the Ministry of Environment for the last few years, the federal government, Natural Resources Canada. So pretty much any forestry related institution. So then in the final term, which is again a September to December term, you have 2 main courses. One is a forest management planning course, where you actually do a management plan. or produce a management plan, learn how to, and then produce it. And then you have your capstone project, which we call Case Studies in Forest Conservation. And that's a course where you take what you did for your internship, and come up with a topic that helps your host. And then you work on that topic for 4 months and then present it in a public presentation and as to your host organization, as well as a very large gathering of people. So hopefully that culminates all the experience you've gained in doing presentations. And we have those up online, and if you care to watch them, they're super professional presentations that the students do. Okay, so that's in a nutshell the program. And this is the admission requirements if you're interested in applying. So a copy of your transcripts should be okay. Copy of your transcripts, your CV, 3 letters of reference. The letters of reference can come from academics, professors is preferred. You should have at least 2 from professors and maybe 1 from maybe an employer or, you know, someone that knows you and has worked with you. And then finally, a statement of interest. And the statement of interest really should show your passion for forestry. You should mention sort of any relation you have to forestry, if you've worked in it. If you haven't taken courses in it, that's even fine. But what have you done that shows us that this is something you're really interested in? What we look for is we look for 2 things. We look for students that we know or have confidence that they can learn. So hence we look for, you know, good students, good academic records. But more importantly than that is we look at why students want to come into the program. What is it they want to do with their life or their career path? And what have they done so far that shows that they're committed to that? Okay, so those are really the 2 things that I would say is really important in your statement of interest. Those deadlines are correct. So early application deadline has passed. Those applications will be evaluated the first week of February. And by probably the 2nd or 3rd week, those announcements will go out to the students who are successful. There's still lots of time though, because we have a final application deadline of March 27th. So you can still apply up till then, as long as you get all your information in. And they will then be evaluated probably 2 weeks after that date, and you would get a letter probably 2 weeks following that. Okay, we do have a number of admission scholarships. They range, they can be $2,000 up to $6,000. It says 5 there, I think it's 6 now. There are some small in-course awards that are given out through the course of the program. And you can also look at other sources of funding. OSAP is available for it, but you can look at some of these, SGS has a page that.
There's also Awards Explorer for the university. I'll put the link in the,
That'd be great.
so what it is, it's a big database of every single undergrad and graduate awards. So some people who are still in undergrad might be interested in this. Yeah. So I'll put that in the link and you can just go through it. And we always recommend applying for everything
Yeah.
that you qualify for.
Yeah. That's great, Laura. Thank you. And I don't know if we have any international students online. Basically the same requirements, obviously. And just the tuition is, I don't have it. That was the issue.
The tuition, the international tuition, this year, I thought I just wrote it down. Let me just look at this.
Just skip back while you're looking.
Yeah.
I didn't mention this. The cost of the program is approximately $20,000 for the whole program.
Domestic, yeah.
And that's an estimate because it includes the field courses, which change every year depending where we go. So, check the U of T site. It gives you the exact number for what the course costs.
Yeah, so full-time for 1 year for international, this year was about 48,000. I'm also gonna put in the chat, it's the tuition fee lookup.
Perfect.
And then I think they'll release the 2026-27 fees. I think it's around March
Okay,
or April, May.
Okay.
It's really late, but
before
Yeah.
students register, I guess.
Yeah.
But they've accepted already.
we
We
our
have
group
nothing
doesn't
to do
control
with
that.
it, yeah.
Control that.
We have nothing to do
I'll
with
put
it.
this in the chat as well.
Perfect. Okay, so some students asked, I have a degree in fine arts. I did theater, or I did forestry in New Brunswick and have an undergrad degree. Is this program for me? And I would say yes to all of the above. We do select students into the program actually based on this diversity in students. We don't want all ecologists in the program, nor do we want all, economics majors in the program, because it's this class dynamics that adds so much to your classes or your courses. So we actually do try to make a really nice blend of different backgrounds from students. And that's, if you're in music, and we've had a lot from music, to be honest with you, they've done very well. So no problem. One question always is, do I need science? And that's one thing we've fought very hard to maintain since we began, is that we think that we can teach the science needed to, good students. Doesn't matter what their background is. Most of the other forestry programs, they require you to have a science degree as your background undergrad degree. We do not. So that's what really has made our program different than anything else out there. And we maintain that for a very good reason or strong reason. So any background degree is considered fine for us. As far as employer types, where our students end up, this is really old and we don't track at all. So it's really, I'm not sure why I show it, but it gives you a diversity of where our students go. Because probably now municipalities are, by far over provincial. Used to be provincial had a lot, but now municipalities for sure. Anyways, just to give you an idea of sort of the range of different jobs, here's some of the organizations, maybe they're familiar or of interest to you. Again, a really small sampling. This presentation will be posted, so if I've gone over anything too quickly, you'll be able to go back over it and have a look. So if you want any more information or we didn't answer your questions at this session, feel free to reach out to myself. I'm Sally. I never introduced myself. Laura's here as well as Paul. And Laura would also be happy to either answer your question or forward it to the appropriate person. And finally, there's a general mailbox at the Faculty of Daniels, and that's graduate@daniels.utoronto.ca. Again, you can throw any question out to them and they will forward it on to the appropriate person. So that's it for this session, and just wondering or open to any questions you guys may have or thoughts you may have. Or are you in forestry? Yeah.
I'm in your class.
Which class?
The forest products.
What is it, 300
Okay.
abundance?
And I'm in 400 right now, which.
Oh, are you in last year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I finished in April.
Oh, cool.
And,
Okay. So you're thinking about what you might do after?
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
It's between this or the research one.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, but like, cause I worked for Leaf.
Oh, yeah, cool.
This past year. And I wanted to do they're very small municipal NGO, and I was like, I wanna expand more, and I feel like we haven't seen too for me.
Well, and what Sally said earlier, it's incredible. I love going on all these field trips, field courses, and you meet people, like there's MFCs everywhere. So that number of 400 MFC alumni seems very,
Very low, eh?
very low.
Yeah.
It doesn't, the urban one.
It's been what, 20 years of the program?
Are former students.
Times,
And the thing
say,
is, they know
25?
So.
20 times,
It's-
yeah, so 400.
Right.
yes.
Right.
It feels bigger,
Hiring
yeah.
Other graduates knowing, having been through the program and knowing what an MFC graduate knows. Another thing I just really wanted to add, cause, and
Go ahead.
please correct me if I'm wrong, but I know from experience talking with students that their internships often lead to full-time, not always, but,
I would say
Even-
no. I would say
Oh.
no.
but even like less.
There's I'd say maybe 10%, do
Is it that low?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But-
Glad I
But
brought
if you
that up.
think about it, other students might get hired on there, not
Yeah.
necessarily the
Yeah.
intern, but you're right, the same organizations are hiring our interns are also our MFCs,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, but it definitely opens up career opportunities for sure.
Yeah.
Better than a research stream does, and I think you go, and I'm not discouraging research stream at all, but two different pathways completely, right? One, you're sort of headed into a real specialization that you will know more than anyone else in the world about your topic. But that makes you not as employable as somebody who knows all this stuff, right? So depends what you wanna do. I did a research master's, you did a research master's, loved it.
But I've had two profs that have done research masters that said to do the MFC.
Is that right? It depends where you
Yeah.
wanna go, right?
Yeah.
So. It's only something you can figure out. Is there any questions from our online gang? Yeah, good.
Oh, good.
We've answered your questions. Okay. When it's time and you want more information, certainly get in touch with us, okay? Good.
All right. Everyone's
Thank you guys for
Okay.
joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.